All right, we've got a couple of questions in, people talking about sharing their mental health struggles with other people. Okay, so someone's saying, I recognize I'm not okay. I'm in a place where I'm dealing with something serious, and maybe I've never acknowledged it for the first time, but now I'm ready to share it with someone else. What advice would you give to someone who's looking to share their mental health challenges with someone else? What kind of words of wisdom would you give them?
I would say to talk about it as seriously as you want people to take you. If you are like being flippant or you're joking a lot about the topic as like even your own coping mechanism, and then you try to like tell your friends or your family like, yeah, actually I am really struggling with anxiety, I am struggling with depression, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling anxious about these things. It might be hard for them to take you super seriously, right. But to have like a legitimate sit down serious conversation about the things that you're feeling and experiencing with somebody that you like love and trust and who will care for you really well.
Yeah, no, that's huge. Yeah, I think, again, just to reiterate that right here at Spring Lake, you have a team of people who want to come alongside of you, that we are ready and willing to enter into the mess of life. There shouldn't be any topic that's off limits to discuss and share, because we have been radically loved and forgiven and welcomed by Jesus, and so we want to like turn around and love and show grace and kindness to others and mercy towards others. So the other thing that we've said is just, again, choosing wisely the kind of person who you're going to share with. You want to assess which of your friends are mature enough to handle something like this. I remember trying to share with a friend when I was in high school, a guy friend, about something I was dealing with, and again, it was just sort of like laughed off or whatever, and that really hurt. I mean, it really hurt me, but it also just hurt that relationship. Like, okay, you're not safe. Like, I can't tell you anything. And so choose wisely who you share with. I think it's valuable.
Yeah, I think it's also important to avoid like labeling yourself.
Oh yeah.
Avoid labeling like I'm depressed, I am anxious. That it's when you talk to someone and they know you really well, and then you come at them as like, I'm depressed, they might push back and be like, well, I know you. Yeah. You don't act that way. And so instead of going at it with like, this is who I am, this is my identity, which it's not your identity. Your identity is in Christ. If you come to like, I'm feeling this way. I've been struggling with this. I've been feeling depressed lately. Can we talk about this? I've really been struggling with my anxiety lately. Like, can you help me?
That's true, yeah. Sometimes labeling, I mean, that's just like a general rule for life, like don't label other people, and it's often not a good idea to label ourselves, because it can be a conversation ender, like you just said, where you say to me, like, I'm depressed, and I say, okay, well, let's talk about that, or I have depression, or I have this. It's like, okay, I'm not sure where to go next, but I've been feeling this way, or I've been really wrestling with it, I've been really struggling. I think that can invite further conversation, as opposed to just like a dump, like, blah.
Right.
Okay, what do I do? Yes.
And I think that the statement I'm feeling, like, if I say like I'm feeling anxious, you can't say no you're not.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No, you don't know what I'm feeling.
Yes.
Where if I say like I'm anxious, it would be tempting for someone else to do like a clinical diagnostic of like, well, you don't fit the correct check boxes. Yeah. And so no you're not, so I'm gonna like write you off a little bit. Yeah. And so just part of that, like, it's more inviting, it's like a warmer conversation to be a part of if you say I'm feeling, or I've been struggling with, or I'm experiencing.
Yeah, that is really important. I think it's good to remember that emotions are involuntary. It's an involuntary response. Like, you don't have control over a response, but we can change the way that we think, and then oftentimes the way that we think affects how we feel. So it's valid to share how you're feeling. You're either sad or angry or happy, and you can share that with people. One other question is, what about if you know someone's going to dismiss you? I think of how do you share with someone who you know is just kind of not take it super seriously? And I'm thinking, if I'm understanding the question, I'm thinking of a parent situation where a kid's like, I you're telling me I need to tell my parents or I need to tell my adults, but my mom's not going to believe me or my dad's going to just kind of blow this off. And so I do think that even though it's a big ask, I think you do have to be ready for someone who doesn't maybe quite have the same experience with those emotions or with those struggles. You can expect a little bit of hesitancy, and just to be patient with the people that you're sharing with, and to be quick to forgive the people that you're sharing with, and give them time to process as well. Because usually it's something that you've been thinking about for a long time, you've been dwelling on it for a long time, and then you just sort of heave it into their lap. And you might need to give them some space to kind of process, like, oh, I didn't realize this was going on in your life. Don't set your expectations so high that they're going to jump from, hey, what's your homework situation like, to all of a sudden, let me deal with this, and I'm ready to go into counseling mode. Because it's a lot to take. Yeah. So show grace and forgiveness to people.
Yeah, it's still important to tell somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. Even if your parents, you say, I don't know if my parents will understand, it still is important, because they need to know, and they could surprise you. A lot of times we project onto someone else, like, their response. We imagine the way they're going to respond, and you never know.
Right. That's very true.
Yep. Great. Okay. Thanks, you guys.